Hello and welcome to part 3 of Diamond Ranch here in northern Colorado, up on the Laramie. So it's right around the border area of Colorado, Wyoming. And today, no way did I finish the painting, so if I have any more time I'll put a part 4 out, but I'm really running out of time this week. But I will work on this, and I'll see how far I can get, and if I get any helpful hints, I'll get it on camera. If not, give it your very best try. All right. Paint with your friends, get outside and paint. Don't be intimidated by a white canvas, and get critiques. All right, let's get to painting. All right, bye. Hello, and welcome to part 3 of Diamond Ranch. And here we are. So today is getting a fresh look at what we've got here on the canvas. And of course it's too light. What am I thinking? I thought I was pretty good at getting these balances right with the right value, but I'm pretty light right now. I think when I really squint down and look at my painting compared to my reference, what you can get, by the way, if you sign up for my student updates or sign up for my emails. I send them out about once a week. And I looked at it and I said, it's just too light. So I'm going to be working on that today. I'm going to be doing more balance and getting this thing right. All right, because I have a very busy week, I don't know if I can get a fourth session in here, but we'll see how far we get today and see if we can make some progress. All right, with that, I'm going to get started with mixtures. So one thing I want to practice with a little bit is I want to experiment with some sky color. And I'm going to try out something I haven't used for a while. I just use it all the time, was Sèvres Blue by Rembrandt, number 530. So we'll try that. I think another one that's kind of close to it is Manganese Blue Hue, or Manganese Blue, if you want to spend even more money. And that's by Gamblin. Those two are pretty nice. If all that fails, Cobalt's good too. All right, let's try some Sèvres. And I'm just going to try some out and work on it later. But I want to introduce the color to you. And, I know, having your basic colors is about all you need, but I always like to play around with different colors. Oh, that's a pretty color. I think it's going to be particularly good down in here. And I'll use it on the bottom of the painting probably more than on the top. And I think I need to have some changes in my clouds. I think that's going to be good. I will use it later and encourage you to get your sky to where you want it and you feel right with it. One thing I want to do though, before I leave the sky, is I want to have some of the clouds touching the horizon. So I'm going to clean this brush out, and boy, that's a good pigment because it really sticks in your brush. And let's go with a new mixture. So I'm getting some white with just a touch of this blue we have here, just a touch. Just don't want it pure white. And I have some contamination in the brush, so I think we'll be fine with just a little bit of off-white. And I'm going to have more clouds on this side. Then on the other side. Let me get back and take a look at that shape. Good, I like it. This might be a little too much. I'll try to soften this over here. And keep the stronger stuff on the left. All right. Let's move down the painting now and see what we can do about getting the values right. So I'm going to go into this area right here and make a ultra blue. Just a touch of red alizarin. Let me see where that is. A little bit darker. And I'm going to add just a touch of ultra again. And a little bit more ultra blue. Sometimes just moving it up one step on the color scale, or on the value scale, can do the trick. And I'm hoping to do that in 1 or 2 clicks. By golly, I think I need a little green in there. I'm going to add just a touch of Viridian. And this time, just a touch of transparent oxide brown. Viridian, ultra blue. Oh, I may have made it too dark. Look at that. Let me lighten it up just a little bit. And let's try again. I think I'm in the neighborhood now. See, I just turn over the brush to get some off the other side. And I think we're really close there. Now we're getting there. Okay. Let me get a little bit more blue over on this side right here. I'm using the very tip of my brush. And I'm going to put some of these blues. I should probably be using a smaller brush, but using the side of my brush to just try to dab on some of these areas that don't hold the snow in the mountain because they're so steep. Oh, that's not too good. Let's go back and get some white on there. Of course, I should be changing my brush. And probably should deal with this more when I want to do detail. Oh, that's not too bad from a distance. All right, so let's move down the painting here. I don't know if I can use this blue, but I will try to see if I can incorporate it. I don't have a whole lot. You know, it looks like a lot when you're mixing it on your palette, but in reality, when you pick it up, you can see that there's very little paint. All right, so I'm going to make a darker green. So I'm going to go, I'll make it olive. I'm going to make a ultra blue, a Hansa yellow. It's a little too rich. I'm going to knock it down with some olive. And now some transparent oxide brown. Transparent oxide brown. It's a little too dark for my painting. So I'm going to gray it down just a little bit. Gray, dark gray, now light gray. And I think we're getting closer to where I want to go. Okay, there we go. I'm going to change brushes and move down slightly to a 2025 number 4 rosemary. It's a flat. And you can see the value is starting to change here. And it is darker. I just think I need more trees up here. And I use some of that down here too on the river. All right, I'm getting back to take a judgment call, and I think the value is working a lot better. I'm going to add just a little bit more blue into this mixture, a little bit more transparent oxide brown. And I'm going to make some darker stuff in areas that are up front. And you can see these little dark areas I'm putting in for accent purposes. And I see less of it down here, but some, and I'll add a few down there. I think I'm okay here with this value, but I need to bring some of that value down into the trees, and I need to get some greener greens, some cottonwood colors instead of pine tree colors in this area where the Laramie River is coming through. So I'm going to make a lighter mixture here, and I'm going to add some permanent green to this mixture, which brings in some gray. And you can see I'm starting to add some lighter mixture here. If you want to go even more, add some yellow to it. Hansa yellow medium gives it a little bit more kick. Now, I think the other thing we can use this for is for the aspen trees up in here that are just starting to squeak out with their new squeaky green aspen leaves that they have in the springtime. And let me see if I can add some of that to this area in here. If you really look closely, you can see a change in the fabric of the surface there, and what that is aspen tree. As compared down here, it's more sage. And I think in one area the aspens come right down to the river. And that's what that is all about. I'm going to put a dark edge on some of this aspen by just getting more of this darker color in here. Maybe add just a little bit more blue into the here. Ooh. Boy, that is strong. Again, I went too strong. But let me see what I can do here. And I will add some of this in here. Okay, looking good. I think what I'd like to do is get a little bit more blue into the gray here, into the sage area, right in this area. So I'm going to add some of that sky color we have. Sevres, add some gray to it. Sevres. And I'm going to thin it down with Gamsol. Oh, that has a nice effect. Just a beautiful little effect. It adds a little bit more, it brings it up just a click in value, but it's so pretty. It's a nice color to it. Let's get a little bit more here, add some Gamsol to it. Sevres, a little bit white. Sevres, let's get some gray in there. I think we're in the neighborhood again. There it is. Oh, it's beautiful. Okay, I'm going to check my time here, see how we're doing, and keep working down the painting here. Putting my brush to the side. Let me pick this stuff up and roll it into one, see what I get. Oh, maybe something I can use up here in the foreground. Okay. I do have some, let me just experiment with some of this color that I rolled everything together. And I'm going to put that in the background just a little bit and see what that does. I think it brings in some green, but don't think that's going to do justice, but let me blend that in just a little bit. I'm doing an experiment, and when I do these, things don't always work. But I'm working to get my values right. Let me see what I can do here with my knife. And what this does is kind of blend everything a little better and brings things together. Okay, now I'm liking what's going on here, and a little bit more dark right in this area. There we go. All right, I think this value needs to be worked on here, the actual field where everything is happening here with the way of, looks like it's cut grass or where they grow hay. And I will work on that next. I don't think detail's any good unless you get your basic foundations right. And then your detail's going to be the cherry on top of the cake. All right, let's work on some mixture, which has something to do with some olive and some permanent green. olive, permanent green. I'm going to add a little bit of Naples to the side. And that's too light. Move that over here. Go back to olive, permanent green, olive, permanent green. Okay, now we're going to add a little bit of white. And take a look at it. You say, when do you know you get it right? I don't always until I get it up on the canvas and see how it corresponds to the surrounding colors. I think that might work. All right, so now, clean my brush that I used in the sky, and I am loading her up. Firmly laying it down. When I do that, it brings up some of the, blends into the lower color, because the lower color is still pretty tacky. And really try to get that taken care of. Let me get back and see that. Okay, I think we're in the ballpark. When I paint with such firm strokes, you can hear the canvas banging back and forth against the easel. And now I'm going to smooth these out a little. And then probably get some knife work on here too. The knife does a good job bringing things together and smoothing things out. There we go. But what you lose on the knife is accuracy. Like when you come up to the edge of the trees and you just, so what I just give up, I just go right over the trees and I'll bring it back later. Okay. Boy, those houses are still sticking out, and I'm going to have to bring those in and paint on them so I can get those things right. Okay, but right now I'm still balancing the big guys around the buildings. And let's get up to this foreground, and these bushes have to be brighter. So let me get some transparent oxide red and some white. Some Naples. And we have some light colors which we can see in the bushes, the foreground bushes. So let's get those right. And I will use a smaller brush. And knocking these guys on here. I don't want it everywhere, but and I'm going to go softer as I go to the left, brighter as I go to the right. And if I lighten this even more, I might be able to help out the road. And I kind of ran over the road here with my white, so I'll bring some of that back. All right, time to work on the foreground sage. I think it needs to be brightened up. I see parts of it as being very bright. Let's mix all this together, see what we have. Sometimes looking for value is more important than looking for color. I don't think there's anything I can use here, but I can throw some green in it and then see what I got. I'm going to add some cerveres to it to see if I can come up with some interesting sage color here. And I'll see what that does for the bushes. These sage bushes here in the front. And then we'll use some lighter stuff around it. I'll add some in here. I don't know if it's going to do much good. That's more blue here. I forgot what blue this is over here, but it's some sort of a cobalt-y looking thing. I think it's manganese. It's a manganese hue, so it's pretty weak. But I see more of this stuff right along the side of the road here. I don't know why. It must get more moisture that comes off the dirt road. It's a gravel road here that is coming in. Well, I think my road even needs to go lighter. Let me see what I can do with a palette knife here. But I do have to kind of load it up right. I don't think it'll do any good. All right, let's get to the base color here of the surrounding color. Let's see if we can work with this manganese and white on top of this mixture. I'm going for a lighter value because it seems to have some green and some gray in it. And I think I've mixed up a pretty nice little batch there just by throwing things together that I have on my palette. Again, I'm searching for value. That's got a nice value to it. And I'm going in here with a smaller brush. I could probably speed this up a little bit with a larger brush, but I think this is doing the job adequately. Now, I didn't put it everywhere, but I think we're doing okay. Softening the edges of some of these bushes here. Just by running back and forth with this lighter value. All right, I'm probably running close to time here. Let me see how I'm doing. I'm really down to very close. I'm seconds, 42 seconds. But we are coming to the end of part 3, and I will be working on this off camera. And if I have any time tomorrow, I will do a part 4, but I can't guarantee it. But I'm going to try to do some work off camera, and at least you can see the finished product, or how far I've gotten off camera, and I'll post that here on this same video. All right, thank you so much for coming by. And this has been an adventure up here in northern Colorado. All right, thanks for your bravery. That's my timer. Let me turn that off and say thanks again. Bye-bye.